Hey everyone, welcome to 5 Tips for Declaring Computer Science at UC Berkeley. I'm Emmett, I'm a senior with the class of 2020. In this episode, we're gonna go over the strategy on how to do well in the lower division classes that are required to declare CS. All right, now in the next episode, we'll cover upper divs, internship hunting, side projects, the transition into industry, all right, but we'll get to that later. So really quick, a little bit more about me. I came in as a spring admin with no coding experience. I was eventually able to declare LNS computer science. I did 2 software engineering internships, and I'm returning to Zendesk this Monday as a software engineer, which I'm super excited about. Okay, I've been teaching with Berkeley's Computer Science Mentors for 4 semesters now, 3 semesters with CS6UNA, and 1 semester of teaching CS70. I've mentored more than a few students through that whole process. Okay, I'm gonna go over everything I've learned in all those years of teaching and tutoring, what I've observed, and what worked for me. All right, let's get it. All right, so if you're not familiar, all students who are admitted into the College of Letters and Sciences are admitted as undeclared, and then they can declare their major later after completing a certain number of lower division requirements. Okay, to declare computer science, students need a cumulative GPA of 3.3 or higher in CS6UNA, CS6UNB, and CS70. All right, quick run through of the courses. In CS6UNA, which is in Python, you learn the basics of programming, like coding challenges and riddle problems, like data structures, and basically how a computer reads code and thinks. Okay, 6.1b, which is in Java, is about building software out of the said data structures. Okay, the projects are a lot more open-ended. Your homeworks and labs consist of implementing different data structures from scratch and learning how to use them, how fast they run, okay, all that kind of stuff. All right, CS70 is a discrete math class. Okay, no coding at all. It's meant as a general introduction to a lot of upper div concepts in computer science. Okay, you'll cover proofs like mathematical logic, prime theory, number theory, basic encryption like modulo spaces. The second half of the course is like probability, distributions, Markov chains, random variables, okay, all kinds of random stuff. Okay, now the sites are online, the whole class is online. Okay, I put links in the description if you want to check it out more. And if you want to see more of an in-depth overview into these classes, let us know in the comments. All right, number 1, start with a strategically sound schedule. Okay, that's alliteration. You probably don't know what that means because you're a STEM major. It's worth noting here that there's a fundamental difference in strategy between EECS majors and intended CS majors. Now, CS majors need to average B+ across those 3 classes in order to continue doing computer science, right? Whereas EECS majors don't really need high grades explicitly. So strategically, it makes a lot more sense for EECS majors to just kind of dive in and start taking a ton of classes. Whereas CS majors usually kind of space things out so they can invest more time in those classes and try to get a higher grade, okay? So in terms of the total number of units required to graduate, computer science is actually relatively low compared to other majors, so you don't really need to load up your schedule from the get-go, okay? Most people are able to graduate in 3 years, do double majors, take grad classes, and some people even like run out of useful classes to take, all right? College classes are hard. It's unlike anything you've ever done in high school, so if you need time to get used to the transition into college, or you prefer to take things a little slower, that's okay. Now, my advice to myself would be to do 2 technical STEM classes and 1 breath per semester, okay? So for freshmen trying to declare, that usually means like CS601A and then either Math 1 or the EE16 series and a breath, okay? If you don't know what that is, drop a comment, we'll cover it later, okay? I don't have time to do that right now. There are people who took upper divs in their freshman year or like declared in one semester and like took all the classes together, okay? But those are few and far between. Now, if you're not really worried about declaring or you have coding experience, again, feel free to disregard and kind of load up your schedule, right? It's up to you. I would say that you can always increase your course load in later semesters, but if you're coming in with very little coding experience, it's better to start slow and then kind of work your way up until you find your pace. Again, there's a lot of other fun stuff to do your freshman fall, so don't start college off by overloading yourself. I've included a link to a sample schedule that I would make for myself in the description. There's a lot of different schools of thought, okay, and opinions, whatnot. Okay, that is what worked for me. That's what I would do if I were to re-enroll right now, all right? Number 2, use past exams to prepare for your upcoming exams. All right, now without going too far in depth, 6.1A, 6.1B, and CS70, they really all boil down to a numbers game, okay? Now they have a grade bin system based on like a pseudo curve, okay? So if you get 100% on all the take-home assignments, as like labs, projects, homeworks, which is generally considered easy to do, then you just need to do a little bit above average on the finals and the midterms in order to easily land a B+, all right? Now, because of the class is so consistent from year to year, you can use previous year's exams as practice to prepare for upcoming exams. The general recommendation for CS6UNA is like between 3 to 5 practice midterms. If you've actually done 3 to 5 practice midterms, you understand what you did wrong and you have a pretty good idea of the concepts, you are very close guaranteed to getting at least a B, if not a B+ or an A, all right? Again, that's a general recommendation from like head TAs from my experience, from what I've seen from my students, okay, 3 to 5 practice exams. They're readily available online, so you can find them. And that's, in my opinion, the best objective benchmark on how well a student will do in the upcoming exam. All right, number 3, resources and CSM, or Computer Science Mentors. Okay, Berkeley is known for being a big school, and CS61A continues to break records for the largest class size with a starting roster of over 1,800 students last fall. But there are still a ton of resources available to individual students. Now, a lot of students kind of have an initial hesitation to ask for help because in high school, we kind of associate that with like failing classes or not doing well, okay? But in college, it's very important that you overcome that stigma and utilize all the resources that are available to help you excel. There's free tutoring from various honor societies, there's review sessions, class tutors, office hours, which are readily available. They make a decisive difference, especially for students who are having trouble grasping a certain concept, okay? My favorite resource is a group called Computer Science Mentors, which offers an adjunct class, which you can take for a unit. Okay, and basically it's a small group discussion of 4 to 6 people, which is aimed at catering to individual students. The content is super flexible, it's a small group environment, it's great space for questions, for review, for personalized learning. This takes time and it might seem redundant, but repeated visits at different angles on the same course concepts go a long way towards a better understanding. CSM is super cool, taught with them for a long time because of how cool they are. And number 4, take summer classes. So taking summer classes is a pretty common option here. It's hard to find internships during your freshman and sophomore years because companies are usually looking to hire juniors. So a lot of students opt to do summer school. I generally recommend it. Summer classes allow you to spread things out, to kind of free up some space during the semester and get ahead a little in terms of classes. Summer classes schedule-wise are a little more intense because they're only 8 weeks, whereas the usual semester is 16 weeks. But they also allow you to focus all your energy into 1 or 2 classes, which I think makes a difference. And number 5, use 61A as a grace period to find a good teammate, okay? Now, your experience at Berkeley is all about the teamwork. A good team and a good study group are foundational to your experience, okay? A good teammate, in my opinion, is make or break for CS61B, all right? Now, some professors don't allow partnering, but they'll give you more time or reduce the course load to kind of account for it, okay? And same thing for CS70, the study group is usually the best indicator of how well someone will do, all right? People who show up to section with their friends, are kind of laughing, joking, having a good time, they usually tend to do pretty well, all right? Now, in a super conceptual class like CS70 especially, having friends to answer questions, bounce off ideas, that makes a huge difference, all right? And even answering their questions or explaining concepts to them is a great way to reinforce your own learning. 61A allows partnering for projects, but the projects are simple enough for you to complete alone if you really need to. So I'd recommend using that first semester as sort of a grace period to kind of build up a study group, work with different people, find a teammate who's fun, who works well, and kind of learns around the same pace as you. Okay, now I learned this the hard way. I didn't work well with my first project partner in 61A, so I soloed the rest of the projects, and that came back to bite me in 61B. I didn't have a good partner for the first half of the semester, so I had to do twice the amount of work while also trying to find a partner who would write code. Now, if you've ever had to carry a group project, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you got your group an A, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with the series. I had to switch labs/project partners a total of 4 times, which annoyed the TAs to no end, and I injured my back while carrying all that dead weight. If I were starting college again, my first academic priority would be to meet other students in the same classes and to try to get a study group going. It might take a little bit of trial and error, but it's super worthwhile, and I'm still friends with many of my classmates from freshman year. Also, study groups carry over from semester to semester, since a lot of students take the same classes in the same order, or they're on the same track, and I've actually taken like 4 or 5 classes with some of my friends from freshman year. Again, some upper divs like 162, 169, they actually require you to enroll with a team, and so having a group of people that you know you can work well with, super important. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. Also, side note, this, in my opinion, this is really the only valid form of networking. Like people I've worked with in the past, project mates, teammates, classmates, I know them, I know they work well, I know how they think, I would refer them in a heartbeat, okay? Now they already have jobs, but I would, all right, possibly in the future. I was talking to my manager last summer over, how he liked the company, whether he was planning to stay, and he mentioned that the good and bad experiences from his career were more so tied to the people that he was working with rather than the project that he was working on, okay? And funny enough, that same thing kind of holds true for college in general. A lot of my friends and postgrads say that the best thing they brought out of college were their relationships. But that's a topic for another time. If I were talking to my freshman self, the advice I would give me is, don't stress out about things that are too far ahead. I did this all the time and I stressed myself out way more than necessary. I wasted time and energy worrying about things that I couldn't change and that I had no control over at the time. One quote that really sums this up comes from Matthew 6. Do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. Like seriously, your identity is not found in your major or even your academic performance. CS is not all there is. It doesn't make you happy, doesn't make people like you, doesn't make people respect you. Well, okay, people will respect you a little. But like overall, your choice of major is kind of overrated, and at best it's only correlated to your career path. Berkeley can be pretty stressful, but make a loose plan and then do your best on what you can affect within the next semester. That's it for today. We got more stuff coming, so stay tuned. Go ahead and drop a question in the comments and we'll answer it in the Q&A. We just kicked off a mentorship program called Bear Pair, so if you're interested in free one-on-one mentorship from a Cal student or alumni, check out the link in the description. You can sign up there. And when you comment on this video, you'll automatically be entered to win this swaggy pusheen sticker that one of my students made, which hopefully I'll give you in the fall. All right, peace out, stay safe, see you next time.